Is Lisbon affordable? In today's video, we will explore the cost of living 1 month in Lisbon, Portugal. The beautiful and vibrant city of Lisbon has become an increasingly popular destination for expats, traveling retirees, and digital nomads alike. It is one of the safest countries in the world, ranking number 7 on the Global Peace Index for 2023. For perspective, the United States is ranked 131. The healthcare is excellent, quality of life is great, and the number of foreigners flocking there has exploded in the past few years. But what does it cost to stay here for a month or longer?
Hello, I'm Trinice West, and this is my husband, Kevin. Join us on our ventures.
We recently completed a trip to Lisbon, and I enjoyed myself so much that I plan to return and stay a month or longer. So I spent the past week researching cost of living for Lisbon, watching hours of YouTube videos of expats and digital nomads who have visited or lived in Portugal, and combining this information with what I learned from expats that I met while we were there. So I thought I've done all this research and I decided to share it with you. So let's get started. According to my research, the cost of housing in Lisbon has skyrocketed, so this will be your biggest expense while staying here. We usually book our accommodations 6 to 8 months in advance to get a good price. I personally don't plan to go to Europe during the summer because it's more expensive, overrun with tourists, and you don't get the best experience. We try to travel during the off season or shoulder season. Now, of course, the rates vary depending on where you're staying and the type of unit. As always, it is cheaper if you go further away from the tourist area. This is just an idea of cost. I know that I might get some comments that this is too high or too low.
So let's hop over to Airbnb. Now, if we look, we usually do 6 to 8 months at a time. And so if we look here, I have the screen showing here. 6 months from now will be about January 15th. So here you see this is January 15th through February 12th. And if you do at least a month, you get a discount on Airbnb. So you see here the places right here in Lisbon. I can go zoom out and zoom in, and I put in filters. So I have the filters set for between 1,000 and 3,000, and you still see we still get a significant amount. Also, we want the entire home, and we're looking at one bedrooms because that's probably what I would use if I were there. And so you see a range of prices. So again, it depends on where you're staying, what neighborhoods you're looking at, what type of unit it is, what's your travel style, what type of accommodations you like, and where you like to be. So just say, for instance, when we were here before, we stayed in this area here. And let's look at this unit here. This looks pretty nice. So I'm going to click on this one. We'll take a look at that one. So this is the entire rental unit, so one bedroom. And you see here it's around 2,000 a month. And so you see you get the discount if you do a month. So that's a lot of times I like to do a month. So you see you save about $973. It's really nice reviews. And the total before taxes is $2,356. So one of the things I don't like about Airbnb, sometimes you have to click to get the final price, but it looks like it's around $2,400 for that particular unit. And very nice looking property. So nice sized kitchen. So this will be a nice place to stay for a month. At some point, I will do a video talking about some of the things that we look for when we're actually looking for our units on Airbnb, places that we stay. Here's another one. So you see 1,900, 2,000, just depends on where you're at. Here's some over there. There's another for 2,300. So that looks about the range there for places, 2,400. So That's the price range here on Airbnb for a short term rental. So, another platform that we use a lot is booking.com. So, I've got it set up with some of the filters already applied. So, I like to at least have an 8, we use like 8.5 for its ratings, put in apartments, and this is the price per night. And some pretty nice places. It's near Bellum. You see apartment here, 1 bedroom, looks very nice. 1,500. Here's another one here for 15. Now this one has 2 reviews. I usually like to do at least 10. I've gotten burned on Airbnb with the places that were brand new or didn't have very many reviews, so I don't do that anymore. I used to try to have at least 10 reviews. So let's go down, see if there are any. Here's one here, 1,700, 177 views, 8.8. That looks nice. Here's another one here. It's 19 reviews. This one, it's 1,700. So here's a nice one, nice outdoor area. 1,700, 4 weeks, 550 reviews, 8.2. So this looks like a nice one. 8.9, 69 reviews, 1,800. So let's click on this one and see what this one looks like. But this just gives you an idea of places that you can stay here in Lisbon. Now, a lot of the places are up on hills and steep. It depends on where you're at, but it's very hilly. Very nice spot here. So this looks like this might be a nice area to stay in here. So you can see there what we have for as far as short-term rentals. Now, let's look at long-term rentals. So here you can go to this website. And of course, if you do a long-term stay, the price will be a lot less expensive because you're doing longer term. And here you can see you can get something for around. This site is called Idealista, and I put in some search parameters here, 700 to 2,000. These are euros. And here you see this one, 800 euro, 850. So you go up here, 900, 900. So what you have to do is, I know a lot of times what we do is we will do a lot of research to see what neighborhoods are great neighborhoods to stay in, and then we go from there as far as looking. But some of these look very nice. So it looks like you can get away from about 950 or more. Of course, the more you go up, the higher you go up, the nicer they'll be, hopefully. And so these are around 1,100. These look very nice here. So as you can see, if you get places that are long term, you can get an even better deal. So very nice places here as well. And of course, the further you go out, the cheaper, of course, that it will be. So that's those costs there.
Now, when we were in Lisbon, we stayed at an Airbnb. And for us, we spent 10 days in Lisbon on our recent trip, and we spent about $1,000 for that property. Now, you do get a discount, of course, for a month. And I just checked the price on Airbnb, and it would be 2,600 for that same place in January for the whole month. So it would be a little bit cheaper if we did it for the whole month in January. Now, we did this back in late spring, going into June. We did the place in Lisbon before in May. So you can see there the prices that you can get in Lisbon as far as housing. When I was doing the research for housing costs in Lisbon, I looked at a lot of YouTubers' videos, some of those guys that were staying there, expats, and some of their monthly rental charges range from 1,000 euros to 3,000 euros per month, or that would be the equivalent about 1,100 US dollars to 3,300 US dollars per month. Now, the next area that we're going to look at is groceries, food. So after housing, the costs for other items in the budget are pretty reasonable. So we're going to discuss groceries next. The cost of food has went up all over the world. And a monthly grocery bill for someone in Lisbon would typically range from 150 to 250 euros for a single person, which is about 160 to $270 per month. For two people, it would be about 400 to 500 euros or $430 to 545 US dollars. Now, eating out can be affordable depending on where you are eating. I know our meals were pricey because we were in a touristy area. But if you eat away from the tourist areas where the locals eat, it is more reasonable. You can get an inexpensive meal at a restaurant costing around 10 to 15 euros or maybe even cheaper, and a more expensive meal for two people in a touristy area or a more upscale restaurant could be 50 euros or 55 US dollars. So monthly costs for around eating out would be 150 euros or $163. If you prefer dining out a lot or you have more, you like more upscale restaurants and places, you may spend around 300 to 400 euros or $327 to $436 per month on dining out. Transportation in Lisbon is another cost to consider. But with Lisbon's excellent public transportation system, many find it convenient to rely on buses, trams, and the metro. We thought that the public transportation system was great. However, it was difficult if you needed to use the elevators or escalators. A lot of those were out of order, and we had to lug our heavy suitcases, luggage up the steps. Of course, we overpacked. That would have been helpful as well. However, this system is affordable and it's easy to navigate and clean. So it's a great system to use if you're just, commuting back and forth throughout the system. At the time of this recording, a one-way ride on Metro was around €1 60 or just a little bit less than $2 US. A monthly public transport pass costs approximately 40 euros or $44. You can get an Uber or a boat car ride for about 3 to 5 euros for each ride, which is about $3 to $6. So it's very affordable. Plus, Lisbon is a highly walkable city, so you might save more money by exploring around on foot. Of course, we love to walk, so that was how we got around when we were there. I would say for us, I would budget 100 euros for two people for the month, and this would include walking, public transport, and Ubers. But this may vary per person, per couple, per family. It depends on how you like to get around and also where you're located in the city. Lastly, we can't forget utilities. Now, utilities will only be applicable to you if you are doing a long term rental. For us, since we're doing Airbnbs or hotels or condos or things like that on booking.com, this wouldn't apply. But if you plan on staying long term, electricity, heating, cooling, water, and garbage for an 85 square meter apartment would typically cost between 80 and 200 euros per month, which is about 90 to 220 US dollars. A lot of this depends on what season it is. So this will fluctuate. You would only pay this again if you're renting for longer than a month and you're looking at a long term rental. Let's look at the cost for 1 month in Lisbon for a long term rental. For housing, you can expect to spend anywhere from 900 to 1,500 euros or $982 to $1,600. The price of groceries, 4 to 500 euros. Dining out, 3 to 400 euros. Transportation, around 100. And utilities, 80 to 200 euros. So the total cost for long term would be 1,780 euros to 2,700 euros approximately. In US dollars, this would be 1,900 to about $3,000. Now, let's look at the cost for 1 month in Lisbon for a short term rental. So, for housing, 1,000 to 2,600 euros, grocery, groceries, 4 to 500 euros, dining out, 3 to 400 euros, transportation, 100, and the total cost for a short term rental would be 1,800 euros to 3,600 euros, which would be the equivalent of 1,900 to almost $4,000 per month. So, is Lisbon affordable? Whether it's affordable to you depends on your budget, your lifestyle, and preferences. It's a city that offers a high quality of life and plenty of activities, and it makes for a fantastic place to call home for a month or more. I definitely plan to return because we had such a fabulous time when we were in Lisbon. That's it for today's breakdown of the monthly cost of living for a month in Lisbon, Portugal. Please use this video just as a starting point and do additional research to make sure that this will be a great fit for you. Now, do you think Lisbon is affordable? Comment below and share your thoughts with us. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that we can continue to grow and inspire others to retire and join us all on this travel journey. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone, and safe travels.